something I never accepted I would get. I had the future is to make friends, my family, and my friends. And I can watch the back to school. That's such a great amount of hope. This experience has given me a sense of direction and a sense of hope. That's changed me. That's
Kills off the band-aid of an active wound. According to the LAPD, the bodies of Christian High and 24-year-old Tamika Severe of Compton were pulled from the surf around midnight. People do think the apartments organization. You endure the abuse. You endure being punched, being coddled. His family contends she died in an Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority ritual.
was the largest, most significant death of any individuals involved in Haiti up to that time. How could this happen?
These girls reportedly witnessed the horrifying drowning, yet vice relatives say they can't understand why they're so hesitant to talk about what happened. They're lying. People are getting fucking tonight groups. Well, we're not going to talk.
Its cover up was so deep, it was like running into a brick wall.
I want to know the story. What happened? I want to know the truth. There's no place in the world. There's more exciting, more thrilling than stories and opportunities, but you don't know what actually goes on behind closed doors.
All of Greek life has some sort of a tradition of secrecy. This was a powerful organization. I mean, it was a serious cover.
I'm listening. There you are again. You're showing up again. We're creating awareness again. I think one of the biggest things is showing up. Like that is definitely the biggest, showing up. Keith. I lost your audio, I think. You there? I'm logging here. I can't hear you, Keith. Can you hear me? Keith, you can't. I think your microphone. I don't even know if I want to say what I think just happened. I need Noni in here. Oh my gosh. Noni Pepperoni, I am sending you
Do you hear me?
Listen, nobody heard you. You was on the Bluetooth in my ear and we was still on a phone call. I don't think anybody heard you because you were talking in my earbud in my ear. And I shut off the phone call and the audio went away. I don't think you were ever connected audio here.
What?
We need Noni. We need Noni Pepperoni. I messed
We need
up.
Noni Pepper. Oh my God. Michelle. So anyway, so I have a couple more members of the community are here they're still looking to get over to the shelter. And I'm just asking them to find out how many more members are here so we could get them a second Uber to go back over there. So I just was speaking to additional.
So I don't think anybody heard what you were saying about the Uber and what happened this morning. I'm trying to confirm it right now, but yes. So everybody, Keith Cooperman, he is back on site in Sacramento. We are doing a follow-up. Oh.
It'd be greatly appreciated.
Just you?
Yeah, I mean, she'll probably go too.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Just let her know. I got you. Hold on, brother.
Yes, we got you guys.
I'll give the other guy 5 stars. the one that just came here. Maybe he'll be the one to come back if we see a white Corolla. Is this a white Corolla? No, it isn't. I don't know what kind of car this is. Hold on, let me see where this is. 3900 Roseville Road. Should I do the fast? That's 3 minutes away. I got you. We all got to take care of each other, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you got? Where are you at?
I'm gonna start on the 14th Sacramento screen.
Okay.
For Halloween.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I get your
I got-
family or people and come through, and I thought I got you.
And I'm from, you ever look it up, Adaptive Strategies Group. The website is Ask ASG. Just Ask ASG. If you type that in the internet, you'll find it anywhere.
Okay. What do you guys?
We help stuff like this.
Okay.
Community resilience, building. It's correct. Yeah, it's getting out there in the community. It's making those authentic connections. It's not really about logos and brands, even though I'm wearing a logo shirt, so you know it's friendly. But it's more about just like building those bridges and seeing how we could get past like all the band-aids that are out there and like stuff like this. I mean,
I got my counseling credentials. And I'm a motivational
you're
speaker.
4 minutes. Someone will be here for you.
Okay, man. I'm a motivational speaker, man. But then
What's your name again?
I'm Danny Boy.
Danny. I'm on. Like, could
We're
you fix my
live.
camera? Could you
We're
fix my
live.
camera?
I
Let me
got
see if
your
I can fix it.
camera.
This is crazy. Okay, so you can't even see right now. Hold on. Let me get it off this thing. Hold on over here. Settings, audio. I hate this.
I'm gonna need a no need to come in and help me fix your camera. I don't know what to do.
So this is Michelle. She's all the way in Ohio. She was with me today.
Oh shit, that's where my stepkids live. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up, or?
All right. I'm with Delray
this is
Statistics.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Danny Boy.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, and I'm thankful we're able to get you out of the situation you're in this evening.
All right. Hey, thank you. It's
We
greatly
don't
appreciated.
we don't want that happening to nobody. So we just want to know like what we can do. How long have you been out there? Like not just today, but just in general.
I've been out here for 2 years. This is the first time I've ever been homeless. You know, divorce is what brought me up here to my brother, and you know, spent most of my life in prison. You know, I'm a northerner. I'm a North Indian gang member, and yeah, shit's all new to me. You know, I lost my.
It ain't about where you've been; it's about where you're going, my friend.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. You know, today, I made a big step today. You know, besides getting kicked out of our camp, but I went and started my detox because I do fentanyl and heroin. I've been doing heroin for 40 years, and so yeah, you know, I'm starting to detox on that. So that's a huge thing, you know. And,
Well, listen, I am a recovering drug addict myself, and I know I'm in Ohio. But I give Keith my permission. You can give my cell phone number privately.
Okay.
If you ever want to talk, I know the struggle with getting clean, and I've been clean for 14 years.
Oh, congratulations.
And it's still a struggle.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know, like, this is just the beginning. It will get harder. But if you ever just need somebody to talk to, I will always pick up a phone and talk to you.
Okay. Hey, that'll be greatly appreciated.
He told me where he's going to be working at, so I'm going to see if I could come through once he's working at his new place down here.
And we like to check in and get these success stories. We love to hear the success stories. So definitely stay in touch.
Got me to relapse.
I mean, I can't, attic, you think. Oh, here you go. Okay, man. Thank you. Hey, God bless you, all right, sister?
Yes, bless you too.
I talk. Yeah. Thank you. The camera again.
You got to talk a little louder. It's a little bit harder to hear you.
Did it go to audio? Hold on.
That's much better. I mean, you hear the background noise too, but it's way better.
Could you switch my camera again? Because it's doing the same thing.
What am I switching? What do I do?
Just move it to solo and then move it to both of us again. Because when it switches out, yeah, there you go. And then you can put it back to both of us. Because what it does is it makes it just show on my screen as appears as one line. Wind up coming in and out of the camera.
So
it's kind of funky. So
I sent Mr. Homer, I want to say is Del Campo. He's in the inspirationals, I believe, and he's definitely in the Rebel with the Cause, but he's definitely lived a life. I believe, if I read correctly, he had some homelessness and things going on in his personal background, and I definitely I invited him. We'll see if he comes. He's watching us though. He's on YouTube or LinkedIn. He's somewhere watching. He's supporting us all the way. Noni's backstage too. So I'm gonna bring her on, even though she's not on video, but she can at least say hi. And Noni to the rescue.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna. I may stay out here for a couple more minutes, but I also like my life, so I'm gonna try to keep my life tonight.
I think that you do a good job at maintaining.
Well, I mean, Sacramento isn't. Listen, this is the Sacramento where they lock up 7-Eleven at night, where it's one person at a time.
Tell us. Well, actually, this is great. So this is great because here we go. I'm from Ohio. I can tell you all about the 330. I can tell you about every side of Akron, Ohio, where to go at night, where to go during the day, where not to go during the day, where to go. Like, what is it like in Sacramento? Because, like, for me, you hear things on the news or you see things, but you don't never get that real life story.
Yeah, Sacramento's great. It's beautiful, but it has a lot of things that we need to work out, right? So
it is. This is Homer, Mickey, keeping Homer.
Hey, Homer.
Hey, hi. Can you hear me?
Let me see if I can switch to the opposite side. I don't want to be. There's still people here that are cleaning.
Yeah, we definitely show us what's going on. So, Homer, I don't know if you got to see earlier when he was there, there was like so many police and firemen,
Yeah.
very, very few organizations
They
were
now
there.
got that. They now have the light up, like one of those like Walmart lights that they put up outside in the parking lot.
That's what that blue blinking light is?
Yeah. Now it's all cleaned out over here. It's all, and they got some
and that
people
was
that are
a
still
full
moving things.
encampment.
Yeah.
That's the same road we was looking at this morning?
Yep.
Oh my God.
What's happening in there, Michelle? Like,
So this was a homeless encampment this morning, and the police and firemen went in and fully dismantled it and removed everybody.
oh, that's tough.
So he was trying to explain it to me this morning. In my mind, I was trying to get like a visual. I asked him if the road was the length of a football field. He said it was longer than the football field.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
So, okay.
Like, I don't know the exact number of people that were removed.
I mean, they said there was like 49 or 50 plus people that were still there after the fact, because there was a lot more people here, but they had left before, right? So
So then they was returning. Or what happened about the people that left? And when they left, it happened, and then returned to see their stuff gone.
no, no, but they had left before. But yeah, but people just left. People came back, of course, and they see that their stuff is everything is gone, and it's like their worldly possessions are no longer here. They're no, it's tough. I mean, they were moving out people's full trailers that were like filled with so many different things, everything that they own, and again, just looking at their faces and just. But I'm just glad that I was able to come back here, and we had sent two different Ubers back to back, so I'm glad they have something called Uber Rides. So um, just able to help out, and that's
It's
lend a
really
hand.
like heartbreaking to think that like people, like you were saying this morning, they'll drive by and either make an excuse to not stop or tell their child just something to like make it seem like it's not that big of a deal. And the
Yeah,
reality is that this morning we watched them tow out a van that was somebody's home. We watched them take down a tent that was somebody's walls that kept them safe at night.
yeah. It's definitely been tough to see all this, and it just get back to me for a second.
What I would like to
Yeah,
say is, in light of this and what you showed us today, I have already began the action plan. We've already sent it to you, have we not? So just know, like, there is discussion, actionable steps that we can make. This was a horrible situation. And it really, I feel like we discussed this morning. This could have been a not, I don't think avoided. They're going to do what they're going to do. I think it could have been handled in a much more professional manner that gave these people
oh,
some human dignity and made
definitely for sure.
they're humans.
I mean, throughout this period of time, like, so I mean, it may not be much, but we were able to have conversations with people that really needed to have that conversation. We were able to get, one particular person, get them the gas money they needed with their two animals, or however many the shelter, and then able to help out plus provide respite to some of the other people that were out here. We just need to go show up and do this. It's like
You
too
broke
many
out.
people are sitting back saying like, this is what we should do. But what are they doing? Are they actually out there doing anything? I don't really think
You
so.
broke out your volume.
If you're always on some stream, you're probably not doing what you should be doing or could be doing, right? So I think more of us need to, get off the computer. It's almost like what I used to tell my son. I used to be like, I don't want to see you on the game system all the time, right? Get off LinkedIn. Go out there. Actually do the thing. Do something.
Right.
That's what's
Yeah.
important.
It's definitely, I think it's what you're in the Philippines, right, Homer?
Yes.
How,
Yes,
what,
I am.
how, that was one thing we were discussing. Is this is not just a US problem. Obviously, it's worldwide. Like,
It is.
are there the homeless encampments where you're at as well?
Yeah, there's a lot. My my story, I was homeless as well way back, but my story is really different because in our family, I'm a good son, but when you are on the verge of emotional distress, you will be rebellious. You know what I mean, Michelle?
Yeah.
So you get, yeah, when you have somebody that you thought that you're gonna be partnering with, and then your parents will not be into that person, will become rebellious after all the things that you've done for them. You know
Mhm.
what I mean. So I tried to spread my wings outside, knowing the fact that that's the right thing to do. But here in Philippines, especially if you're Catholic, you shouldn't like, turn down your parents. I'm not sure if you're Catholic, Michelle, or what kind of religion are you in?
Spiritual. I'm spiritual.
Okay, if sure, that's good because you always like give back the honor to your parents, whatever that is. Because at the end of the day, they're not really like perfect, you know. So being homeless, being away in home, I've been to that, and it's really hard, you know, because you're gonna be struggling. You cannot be able to buy food, stuff like that, and it's gonna be totally different. You know, so if I can see these people like struggling, they cannot find something to eat, they cannot find something to go home. I even experienced, Michelle, that I'm working in a BPO industry, that I need to leave in the office without taking a bath for a week, and go, yeah, seriously, and go to the, report to work, and without my my colleagues knowing that I don't have any take a bath because I want to save money, because I wanted to prove to the person that I dear so much to me that I'm worth, I'm a keeper, something like that. But at the end of the day, if this person is really not for you, this is not really for you. At the end of the day, you only have yourself, and I just proven that whatever ups and downs that you will have, your parents, especially my mom, because it's only my mom being with me right now. They're the one that will be your best partner in life. Now, every time that I will see homeless people, you know what I do, Michelle? If I have like a pierce right here, these fears of mine have like a lot of coins in it, I always like open my purse, grab some coins in it, and always like give
Giving
something to
back.
them. Yeah, give back, because I always like remember those times that I don't have that much, even if I'm not rich, but I'm rich with rich with like experience, wisdom, stuff like that, because I always believe that the moment that you're going to give back to those needy,
Mhm.
will turn to you hundredfolds. And uh, seeing this kind of situation breaks my heart a lot, and
And
I'm
that's what
very speechless.
Keith just talking with, I believe his name was Danny. I
Mhm.
think he had just said it was like, he just kind of ended up there like 2 years, like he'd never, I'm a good person. I, struggle
Mhm.
with this. And it's so, I think that we need to remember that I think that because of societal tendencies, people will look at a homeless person and there's these preconceived notions. But
Yeah,
then I don't think that somebody often takes the time to walk in their shoes, so to say. Do you know
True.
what path led them to
True.
it,
have to be in this position?
and
Exactly.
I think that the tough thing is that many of these nonprofit organizations out there, they hire people that aren't street smart, right? They hire the people that can't really relate to the community, but they feel since they have all of this knowledge from their degrees and whatever else, like they probably, a lot of them haven't worked anywhere. They've only went to school, but they don't understand how to really speak to the community members. So they wind up showing up and speaking down to them instead of speaking to them, and they make the people feel like they're not good enough.
They
We need to
show up
do a
in
better
their
job.
suits and they
Oh
show up
yes.
in their Lexus and they show up with this
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
and you're coming into the margin of the poverty section that
Yeah.
we go shopping at thrift stores. Like, like that I think that's one of my biggest struggles with influential leaders that don't get down into the streets and talk to the community members. How do you make the decisions you make sitting behind doors? Yes, you have a diploma and it makes you smart. I get that. But you ain't never lived a life experience that I've gone through. There ain't no
Yeah.
diploma going to teach you what I survived.
I agree. And like typically I wouldn't go into situations all logoed up, but when you're
You're not
going into
logoed up.
I mean, I have one logo, okay. So, but the main thing is trying to make sure, like that, it's easy enough to have that conversation and to get past, any of the negative feelings. Like when I initially walked up, they're like, "You can keep walking. Why are you here?" So I just kept walking towards them, and I was like, "No, I'm here to help you. I mean, like this looks a lot different than this morning. I mean, like,
I
man,
think
I
that
was over there."
That's also a misconceived notion, like them asking you why you're here. So, like, one thing I learned when I came onto LinkedIn and I really started engaging in the rooms, and actually Tamrat's was the first one where it was that deep intellectual conversation, like about real systemic issues. And the one thing that I've learned, I would say more globally than nationally, but a lot of professional people higher up in these fields that I now have regular conversations with had no idea the lack of knowledge and awareness made around the systemic issues that I personally face, or like what you're out dealing with right now in the streets at the homeless encampment, like firsthand witnessing it. Like they didn't realize that here, at least where we live, a lot of things happen behind those boardroom doors with very little exposure or experience to what they're trying to resolve.
No, of course. And that, again, that's the issue. They're showing up thinking that this is a boardroom when, they're they're not in the right place. It's like when you're out in the streets, it's about you listening. It's not about you talking. You're not like sitting there trying to preach to them, because that's not going to work. You need to find out like what's going on with you. What are your roadblocks? How long have you been here for? And what can I do to help? Like,
Yeah.
that's it. You don't. The rest of it doesn't matter. You don't need to tell your story. Who cares about you? I mean, literally, like no one cares. It's like, it's like people. Again, people are selfish at times, right? It's all about me, me,
True.
me, me, me. But like when people need someone, and people have just been showing up talking about all the stuff that they can do, it's like, well, okay, what are you going to do for me right now? What could you actually do for me? Not for
And
what
let
do
me
you do?
add this. Let's see, it is going into September. So May, June, July, August, September. We're going on 5 months now of a relationship that you and I have built, Keith. And think about this. Like from your own experience, your own, thought, how long would you say it took you to peel away the layers for my trust?
Damn, like a year? No, I'm just if I'm. No, I know.
But you see
Why?
what I'm saying? So like when you're going
Yeah,
into these communities, they don't even go in. Like they're gonna they sometimes if they do leave the boardroom and come in, they're there
yeah.
for that publicity
That
moment in
moment, yeah.
or event,
There,
and they're saying, what can we do to fix it? But don't nobody there
yes,
trust you to fix it.
yeah. They're there for that check sign, the check, picking up that big check, saying this is what we're gonna do, and this is all the stuff that we did. But what did you really do, though? Like,
And
what
they
did you
never been
really
sit
do?
to question what happened.
Yeah, because like here in this situation, when I can typically talk to people and I can read them and I can let them know. I said, hey, I've lived everywhere. And when I lived in other parts, people used to walk up, tell me I was good, and they used to walk up to me, going towards my pants and be like, "What you got? What you got?" And I was doing that to them. They're laughing. I was like, "So what you got? What you got? What do you got for me?" It's like, have fun. Like, show people your personality. Show that you're not a threat. That you're not being their fake. But what I did say to them, which is the same thing I say to everybody: real recognizes real. That's it. So it's like, you can walk in wherever you need to go as long as you're authentic. But if you're showing up, like just because of your title and this power that you have and how big and almighty you are, well, you better start calling your family to get your suit arranged for you, depending on where you're in, because you may not make it.
You ain't getting invited into some neighborhoods here in Ohio where I
Nope.
live. Yeah, you just don't
That's
do that.
that's the case though. I mean, so many people show up with their ego and their titles and thinking that,
They're
they
coming
should.
with the band-aids instead of the surgical
Yeah,
equipment.
well, I bet enough is enough. Hold on, one moment, please. I'm going to let you both continue your conversation.
So, Mr. Homer, this is a flipping the script with Michelle and Keith. This is we flip the
Yeah.
script. We take real life situations and we put them on the table. And most of the time, it's the topics that don't get discussed the way they should. So, and
Very.
homelessness is one that for Keith and I and many others, it just money's not an issue in the world.
True.
$14 trillion circles this world every day digitally. So don't tell me money is the problem. Like, what can we do as compassionate, kind human beings to look at another human with no labels, no judgment, no cast of anything, and just accept them and help them?
Yeah.
It's
If
crazy.
it is crazy. It is crazy, you know. So
I said we
um,
keep writing our anthologies, we keep telling our stories, and it's I truly believe, like, I've lived so much adversity and I've been faced with so much trauma and so much tragedy. The one thing I can say is that I keep going, and for every time that one rock got thrown, I can see years later the ripples that might have come from a rock I cast a couple years ago. And I might have one of those ripples hit another ripple that I created over here another, couple days ago. And it's just, but sometimes you cast the ripple, it gets overwhelming,
It
it can get.
it does. I mean, and it's sad for me to see the lack of community involvement, knowing the power of what is actually here, being on the opposite side in disaster responses, and knowing all the organizations that exist, and seeing such few organizations, and also hearing names of national nonprofit organizations that were asked by another nonprofit to go help, and they didn't hear anything back from them. So there's a lot to unpack, but again, this isn't for us to talk about on air.
No.
These are private conversations to try to see if we can get past and understand a little bit more about the thought
mhm.
process that went into those nonprofits not showing up today.
But do you want to know the full crazy, like, in my mind that literally just came, like, this whole full circle thing that just came? This is the exact, like, what we're saying we're not discussing publicly, because obviously, and we do talk about this privately a lot. Definitely, private conversations, but it's the exact reason I reached out to you 5 months ago. You was a guest speaker in a room, and there was a point where you began talking about ASG and organizations and XYZ, and that's what made me reach out to you, because I'm sitting here like, I'm dealing with some questionable organizational standards and values and principles, and let me ask Mr. Cooperman here, like, what am I doing wrong? And then to find out, like, we have a whole conversation, you're like, you've done nothing wrong.
Can I get
Are
it?
you
Oh yeah,
kidding me? Like, that's a whole crazy full
I
circle
appreciate
from
you. Thank you very
Ohio
much.
to California. Like, it's a full circle to show this is definitely a systemic issue that goes beyond one city, one state, one country, I'm sure.
But here's the thing though. We're still. What are we doing? We said that we're going to show up. We said that we're going to have actually actions that are, it's not just going to be words. Again, this isn't just rooms. It's not just about this conversation. It's about true actions. It's about heartfelt actions that we have, and that what we're doing intentionally to stand up for the community. Not many people are going to go back out. How many other people, how many other organizations did I see out there when I went there? Nobody, except for the people that were cleaning up, their space. No one was
Right.
there to help. So it's like, okay, y'all good, right? All right.
This is like what we was talking about this morning. There should be basically, this is a disaster. There needs to be a disaster deployment team there that's going to be no less than like 4 days to 4 months.
Yeah, there needs to be people
There's
that are
no
actually
way
looking
it
into the
can be handled
situation.
there's no way it can be handled in less than 4 days.
Nah, there needs to be more. There needs to be a cohesive team. So, like, for instance, when I've dealt with different disasters before in other areas, even like a fire, let's just say. Right during the time of COVID, there was about 125 people that were impacted by two different multifamily fire events, and within 2 or 3 weeks, we were able to get everybody through recovery. And how did we do that? We worked with the local county, the Community Family and Youth Services, and they helped champion to get HUD and to get all the agencies. And I arranged more morning meetings with them. We put everyone's list, all of their names on a list, and we went through them to find out exactly what could we do to support them. So it's like there's things like that that actually need to happen where it's people are trying to really come forward intentionally to provide that support for other people. It is about that collaborative effort. The issue is that many people, they're so jaded by the time that someone has multiple times over and over and over again, they have done the same thing. They've gone to jail, or they've become homeless again after they were helped, or they had alcohol abuse or whatever was happening, but they've given up on that. But what if the person that they gave up on, what if someone gave up on their friends? What if someone gave up on their family members? How would it make them feel? So we really need to try to flip the script and think about it that way. When
I think
someone else is hurting, what if that was my friends? What if that was my loved ones? How would we feel if nobody cared for them?
I think another deeper level to this is that when you have that person that you're helping, and then for some reason they keep slipping back, the question then needs to become, what area in life have we not addressed that you are hurting so badly that you're slipping back into the self-medicating and self-numbing behavior? Because when that happens, what I've learned is that you're dealing, this is me personally and just my personal experience, was every time I had to deal with a new emotion or a new level of something through life I was never taught to deal with, it was easier to go self numb and be in the streets with no accountability or people in my face than actually deal with that really hard thing that was keeping me in that state of misery. And for me, when I personally talk to people in the streets, in these positions, I learned many of them where I live at don't wish to go get a meal at the food shelter because they're being told if they don't sit through a church service, they're not allowed to eat. But they don't want the religion shoved down their throat. And it's no disrespect. I don't blame you. But then you have them going and getting a new charge because they stole a muffin and a drink, and they might have been already on probation or parole. So then on top of getting a theft charge to eat, then they got the parole violation to be put back in a system built to make them fail. So like, at what point do we really truly start dissecting the actual layers and problems and issues? Like, so many people are stuck on doing the post-op work. We need the preventive frameworks. I yield. I'm sorry. I'm getting energized. Like it's so mind-boggling.
Yeah, I can feel the intense right there, Michelle. Here in Philippines, there's really a lot of homeless people, and what's the funny thing is that they're making some actions with it, but there's really no consistency. You can still see they have some sort of like shelters though, but sad to say, you can still see like people, children like below 3 years old, are still in the streets, begging for food, begging for money, and what's worse, if in case that they will not, or you will not give them something, they would like spit on you. Spit like
Yeah,
spit.
they get
Yeah,
they're
they will.
assaulted almost. Yeah.
Yeah, spit on you because they have this. I'm not sure if they used to beg some bag, but I believe what they have used to is really to beg. Um, but you can really like blame them, because they're not trained, they're not skilled.
So they don't have the
Oh, oh,
resources to not be
exactly.
in that situation.
Exactly. You cannot blame them. So that when they ask for something like asking for money and you're not gonna give them, they will be like deprived, and you cannot like blame them. So their defense mechanism is to, they, of course, they're humans, and they will be felt like ashamed,
Yeah.
That why they're going to ask something from you, who are you in the first place, something like that. Me myself, if I will be if I'm going to ask someone that I don't know, my whole being will be crashed out, and it's really hard, but I don't have any choice, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah, and it's really hard. That's the reason why every time, if I'm only rich, every time that I see these people, like, laying on the street,
And that's what
oh,
that's what I was saying makes me so upset is that there's money's I don't feel in my mind money should be the issue. Like that's what it's like if we were rich, the ones that me, you, Keith, the ones that are awareness and action, if we were rich, it wouldn't be an issue. We would be giving and giving and giving and pouring in and pouring in. And it's just like, but the money does exist in other places. So like I just it blows me. And then you said something, me and Keith, our dear friend Martha, she said that exact same thing to me a little bit ago in a message. She said consistency.
yes,
That
consistency.
she said that is the biggest is the people like, and what Keith, who was there today, who's there tonight, like there's no consistency in building the programs that give the resources that these people and families need.
Exactly. And I hope that if you are genuinely or truly helping people, I hope if there's like no camera on you, like even if you're gonna help them, no camera, no Facebook, no even social media, you're very willing to help. That's more of like
That's what me and
followers.
Keith say all the time.
Yeah, because if you truly and genuinely help, your purpose is genuine, like you really wanted to help people, even there's no social media, it should be
Yep.
there. Word of mouth would be a tool, a very powerful tool for you. That hey, this guy is really good. Without cameras and all that stuff, without those prosthetics, without those comments of the other people. This person is really nice. This
Yes.
person really kind,
Like
something like that.
what we choose
You
to
know
do, we don't like to advertise that. These types of things we do, like we need awareness. The streets, they
exactly.
need to know what's happening. But there's so much you're absolutely like Keith was talking to me about that just the other day about just what gets done doesn't have to be done in the spotlight or in public or for why like like you don't need acknowledgement, like I celebrated a victory
Yes.
by myself. Well, I did it with you, Keith, on the phone. I did celebrate my victory with Keith on the phone. But still,
Nah, like
there's
everybody,
not
like
certain
she threw a
people.
whole party and everything. Like you don't even know, man. She had streamers, hot air
I did.
balloons.
Because
No, but I meant ice cream cone.
Because here in Philippines, I'm fond of like watching YouTube, even live streams. And what I notice, I don't want to name names right here because I'm not good in names, but I'm good in faces. They use people, especially those low profile people,
Yes.
just to just to gain audience, and that's the sad part.
And
Those
They
are the
use
videos I dislike the most.
I hate those like I hate videos where someone's walking up and doing like these stupid things, and it's just like, listen, give them back their dignity. When you're gonna go there, you don't need to do all this other stuff, but people want to be there. People want, like, they're asking to be on camera. They're asking for all this other stuff, but sometimes people are doing something so small, like they're, whatever it is. Like, there's people that are like bragging about giving a half-eaten sandwich to, like, oh, I gave my leftovers, man. Like, you gave your leftovers, go ahead, man. Why don't you go home and I'm gonna
But
give you
the
some
thing for
change so
me
you can
is
go get some
like,
food.
where does the human dignity come in?
Nah,
Where's
because
the integrity? Why? Where's the humility? Like
the
what? Like for me, it's I don't. It just it's so. We need to replicate us. We need the
the issue
compassion
the
and
issue
kindness.
what I was gonna say is the issue is that so many people are out there, they're not taking that deep breath. They're not really just stopping and pausing and thinking about, but prior to them acting is like, would I like that if? That's why, like, when people go through disasters, you don't want to just start giving them like your dirty gym clothes or whatever else that you have left over that's all moldy and whatever else. you want to give them that choice, that option. If you're donating the clothes to like a Salvation Army or another location or a Goodwill thrift store, they're going to go through the clothes. They're going to make sure it's ready for sale. They're going to put it in order by size and by like style or like the sex that should be wearing it, so people can actually figure out what they would like to wear. Do you give them back that dignity instead of just throwing a bag of clothes at them saying, oh, you should like this because my son liked it and we have good taste? Like many people do things like that, or it's like that half-eaten food and acting like you did something. It's like, all right, well, would you eat something if I walk up to you and give you half of my sandwich? Are you going to eat that? You want a bite? Like, come on, here, I'll give it to you. But like people don't think about it that way. Ah, salama po. Ah, see, thank you very. Oh, the elder. He's your elder. I mean,
uh,
I'm sorry.
she's from Cebu. Cebu is like because there's like three islands here in Philippines, Luzon,
Yeah.
Visayas, Mindanao. She's somewhere part of the second part, if I'm not mistaken. Hi, Cherry.
Mhm.
Uh, Kababayan. Yeah, my sister.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
I appreciate you being here with us,
yeah,
and there's so
but
much that we could do, and that we could all do this together. We can really just
true.
make a difference by having these conversations and showing up and seeing things from a different perspective. So that way, when things happen in our area, we can maybe adapt how we're moving, and we can provide guidance to others. Right?
Yes, exactly. And I'm not totally against with anybody right here. Let me clear this out. What I'm just trying to say right here, I even appreciate the, their initiatives, their let's see, action plans, all of the great projects, stuff like that. But what's really missing right here, Keith, first one is the consistency. Second one is how truly you are and genuine you are of helping these people. Because
Yep.
if you are genuinely and truly helping these people, you shouldn't be seeing these homeless people on streets.
Yep.
That's the first thing, you know. Secondly, instead of secondly, if you really aim for, like preventing them be on street, why not think of something by educating them so that you can empower them and they can also give back to the community, because for
Yep.
sure they would realize that being in the streets is not going to be, it's not going to be the place for them. They should be have this mindset that being in the street, it's something that it's a very dangerous place. That's the first one. It's not safe, especially for kids. And secondly, there's a better place for them to prosper, to like to discover their fullest potential. Just like what I've mentioned earlier, I've been in a homeless situation as well. I've been so lost. Even my mom and dad is had this college degree, but it I was on the point of my life like I was totally lost, and I can feel what they're feeling right now, and it really breaks my heart as well. So that's the reason why in my every single way that I can help them, I would really definitely help them. Okay, but sad to say, I'm not that rich. All I can all I can share is something that I can share in on the little that I know. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much again for being here. And that's true. It's like many people don't understand. There's people that are showing up and saying we're doing so much, but they're doing so much within their metrics that they have internally within their organization. And like when organizations start new programming and they start pouring all this money into their staff that are moving into the area instead of pouring into the local community that actually exists there, that's bad. You want to really take care of the local community. And the thing is that if nonprofits are able to come together, they can utilize the smaller nonprofits that are out there to become force multipliers for them to conduct any of this case management that they need. You don't need to hire all of these teams all across the country. You need to work collaboratively with the other nonprofit organizations that are out there so we all can come together. We all can make a difference. And the issue is everybody wants to have their flag in the sky. They want to have that me moment. The development officers want to come in and say, listen, I made this money. Look at my philanthropy. Look at all this stuff that happened. They don't, it's like, where's the unity and mission? It's not there. There's no unity. And what is the mission? For them to get their metrics, for them to get their bonuses? Or is it about the community members that need our support? So when they're hosting their galas, when they're hosting all of these fancy events, what about the people that are still on the streets right now that have been unable to get through their barriers because they've hired people that are incapable of actually thinking strategically or collaborating with other nonprofits to break through the barriers? Those are the questions that we really need to ask, and we need to get the right leadership in place that are actually going to stand up and do something instead of just sitting there and listening and watching it. If we keep doing
There's a lot
this,
of
our
people
future
that are-
generations are going to continue this cycle, and it's going to be it's going to go after generation to generation to generation, where we're all just going to believe that this is how it is. And we need to break that. We need to break that cycle, and the time to do it is now, so we can prepare our future generations to actually show up for each other and act as a community.
Yeah, and
That's true.
there's a lot, like what I've learned, there's a lot of organizations. So where I live, their organization's funding comes from government grants and things like that. So obviously what they have to report is public record. So what I'm learning is that I think that there needs to be deep systemic changes when it comes to the policies and the way that the funding works and things like that. Because from what I'm seeing, when you're giving these organizations all these hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, and you got CEOs that have, 6 and 7 figure annual salaries that come out of the funding, I find that is an issue. I find the issue with these organizations that have I'm trying so hard to like say what this thing, I don't
The right terms, you know.
I don't want to offend
Would you
anybody.
like me to grab some water, Michelle?
It's like, okay, like I'm a
Well,
Puerto Rican female,
and
okay?
if you can't think of anything nice to say, you shouldn't say it at all.
Not that it's not okay. I'm a Puerto Rican female. I am a
Yeah.
minority, okay?
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I have been turned away from seeking support at organizations where I live locally after the fire, because when they looked at me, they seen a white woman and they were an organization built to help minorities. So it's like, I don't know how I don't want to say it. Like, I'm not racist. I'm not offensive. I'm not, but it's just people, we need to get away from putting people into categories. It doesn't matter if you're a male or female. It shouldn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, purple. I don't care. It shouldn't matter who you're married to. Are you a human? End of story. Are you an AI bot or are you a human? If you're a human, we can help you.
And the difference is like, there's so many buzzwords that happen after COVID, okay? And, many people are still operating throughout that lens where a lot of the hires were made. Unfortunately, for many years within organizations, within companies, it was that good old boys club. And it was the people, they were hiring their people. And, instead of actually getting rid of the problems, they tried to make different types of like metrics and action items and initiatives that they didn't follow through with, that it wasn't really authentic. And, unfortunately, they put a lot of the workers that we see that have that open to work banner on their actual profiles right now, is they were in these positions that were stood up to be politically correct and to try to be like everyone else, to be a sheep. And they didn't do it because they authentically wanted to do it. So the second that it wasn't provocative anymore, the second people weren't talking about it, they dropped the whole departments. They let go of everybody that was dealing with DEI in most of these major companies. And were they really living that life? I used to tell people, I went to a board meeting one time, and there was someone there that was the only minority that was in the room, and he was like kind of motioned to that he should be on it. And he spoke up and he said, something that's funny? And they were like, what? They're like, you couldn't even take a picture, and if there was any of this type of group, you couldn't even take a picture without me because he was the only minority in the room. And she was offended. He says, I will not be on your board. I will not do this, and you are not going to tell me that I have to be because of my skin color, because of anything. And he was offended. He was really offended, and it's like we really need to really think first of all before we talk, and we can't utilize like all of our biases that we have, all of our judging people. It's like stop and suspend your judgment that you have against anybody before you're getting into that situation, and sit back and listen to them authentically. You need to just sit and listen. And sometimes sitting and listen, that could save your life. Like literally. Like in these situations, especially walking into these situations late at night, which is really not that smart to do. I will let you know if you're watching right now, don't do what I do what I say. But like and bring a buddy. Don't go alone. But but anyway, you know, if you keep talking, you can be in a lot of trouble. So just
Yes.
really go into these situations where you just want to listen, you want to learn about people, and just do it with your heart, right? Do it
True.
with your heart.
I couldn't
So
agree more.
do you know, Keith, about like the whole watchdog thing? Like this is so when I had reached out to you, it was because like I had learned about this organization that they monitor nonprofits. And when they're not doing what you feel they should be doing, or they're getting this funding that isn't, and but I have yet to see them work. Like I know organizations locally that have been reported and still like no repercussion. So it's like, how do you even trust them? Because it's like you're told something's happening, you're given proof of it. There's not even a slap on the hand. Like, oh, let's give you a bigger grant this year.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, Homer, I think that I am officially I think I'm good right now. I,
Yeah.
I'm I'm thankful that listen, I gotta sit here. I got my soda, I got my hot fudge sundae. I'm gonna go work on some stuff right now. But no, I appreciate you both, and I appreciate Noni for coming in to lend a hand, and Cherry being here, Cherry
Cherry.
Berry being here with us. Yeah, there's so much that we can do, and the important thing is that we're here, we're showing up, and we're realizing that this is something that we can do together. And it's not about the one person saying, yes, it was me, it was us. We all can do
Our
this. We all can
concierge
make a
too.
difference.
I can't see who's here, but I think Cherry just said it. I think it's important for people to know, like, we're showing up, we're creating the awareness. Just know there is a lot of intensive backroom conversations and projects happening. Like, we're not just talking, and you guys aren't going to see action, if I can say it like that.
Like
Yep.
walk the talk, you know.
No, that's what we do. It's like, man, I just came out of 7 years in the disaster world, and being, my last role, I was in charge of 4 different counties for preparedness, response, and recovery. So now it's time to really, to look at it from a different angle. I know what it's like when you need to show up from that lens, but how could we fix these issues instead of just putting band-aids on it? How could we truly create resiliency, and not just resiliency that's based upon our own needs, or for supporting people that we know and giving them funding for all different types of reasons. It needs to be about helping the general population, and not just going back in circles and helping people that have helped you in the past, right? Because a lot of times that's what people do. It's like either hiring people back and forth or giving them funds back and forth. And it's like, really, could we do better? Could we help out some of the smaller people that are on the totem pole? Like really just like let's help out other people. Let's help out everybody. And everybody,
I
you know,
mean,
it
think
doesn't
about
just
it.
have to
You
be
listen
one
to my
particular
idea.
person. What
You
happened?
listen to my idea. And you're like, holy shit, that's a great idea. You know, like just
Oh my.
listening to somebody that, I mean, how many times was I told I wasn't educated or my plan is dumb, it won't work. And then here comes Keith and he's like, I can't believe nobody's listening to you.
Yeah. Because they're wait, I don't let me see if I remember any of my they're because they're gago. Is that right?
Oh,
No.
listen.
But no, there's a lot of people out there that just really just don't think. And we need to sit back, we need to think. We need to actually just like believe in other people and not think that we know it all. A lot of people come to the table like these subject matter experts and they're preaching, especially like on LinkedIn, man. Like it's like I've never seen anything like it. It's almost like evangelists. In a lot of these places where people really think that that they have all the answers. And sometimes you do. There's amazing rooms. Like I was on such a like I think around the same time yesterday I was on Zion's room. Oh my god, Zion's room was like Mr. Positivity. Like
Listen, we need Zion and Jesse together. Them two
oh
and
my
their
god, I don't even
energy
know. I think
is
that's unstoppable. Zion is, oh my god, that
out
would
of
be
this
like church all day.
world.
And
Oh,
Zion reminds me of like someone that I used to listen to with my mother-in-law when she was alive. She used to like some Ghanaian preacher. His name was Joe Meadow. And like like a lot of things, like the way that Zion talks, it really reminds me of like when he's really getting all into it. Like it's so just like Joe Meadow. And I used to listen to that over and over and over again while she was going through hospice at the home. Like I was just what listening to the tapes over and over and over to the God medley. And like it's just comforting though to hear people's voices and energy too as well. So
especially contagious like that. Like it makes you
yeah.
feel like listening to
Yeah.
Jesse read in that park on Sunday. I'm just like, bro, I can't wait to come to New York and just sit with you in this park and read a book. Like you make it look insanely amazing.
I
Again,
can
we
see, yeah, I can still remember when I met Sir Zion on one of his events on the second time. I'm not sure, Michelle. I'm not sure
You
if you
never
witnessed
forget him.
that. Yeah,
You never
I
forget him.
was I was really crying so bad. When you
It
are in
was
an
awesome.
environment, yes, when you are in an environment, Keith, that people is hungry with power, you know, and money, and at the end of the day, they used you, and suddenly you're all there's nothing left.
yeah.
And my mom just hugged me so tight, and she even told me that everything's fine, my child, let's move on. So yeah, right now I'm still fighting. I may not have that much right now, but I'm fighting, I'm bouncing back, and I'm just really grateful with these people, my mentors, Dr. Constance, lot
Oh
of
yes.
people, Sir Zion,
Yes.
everyone in LinkedIn that I met, so many, even you, Sir Keith, Michelle.
You're gonna love Keith, I
Yeah.
promise. That's why I brought you on. You absolutely you're gonna love
And I'm
Keith.
learning, I'm
Hey,
learning.
you got my name right, so we're good.
So and the thing is, Keith is like he is this selfless human. So like you people like you and I are like he will pour into us and his cup will be empty, but he will still pour into us. Like, but we don't let him do that. We definitely pour back into his cup. But if you are willing to show up and take the constructive criticism, answer the difficult questions, be accountable, do the work, like he'll give you the world. And it's like, I mean, I'm proof of it. Like he's like walking a journey with me that I walked alone and I was ready to quit. Like it is so true life. And it's like just having somebody believe in you literally makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, my
True.
Tagalog. Oh man, I know a lot of Tagalog though. So I mean, I don't. We're not gonna get into my Tagalog though. So like, I used to have a lot of
She
my
said,
friends were from
Cherry
the
said, look,
Philippines.
Cherry's saying that it's look, she died saying it's on point.
Yeah, at least I'm not saying like bakla.
I miss Dr. Constance, and every time that she will, um, every time I will hear her voice like Homer, Homer. She was like that. I was like, oh my god.
My favorite thing
my
right
mind.
now that we're on this shit, my whole thing right now is return to sender.
Return
Return
to
to
Oh
sender.
yeah,
sender.
she's so funny.
Fun.
Oh my god.
And like hearing her quote the art of war, I'm just in my mind like, oh my God, that's Keith. Oh my God, that's Keith.
Yes. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
like I was thinking about that. I was like, and the important thing is too, like even the art of war. It's like, how could you say that you're empathetic when you don't give empathy to everyone? You can't just give empathy
True.
for to particular people. It needs to be to everyone that crosses your path. So it's like the
Shouldn't have
difference
to.
is
I don't know if I can agree with that.
well, that's so you don't need. We can agree to disagree, Michelle. Okay,
But
that's
what
why
I'm
you're in
saying, so
Ohio and I'm over here in
think about it.
California.
Think about it. Think about it. When you are the empathetic person, right? What I have learned is that I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve. I definitely, when I do something, I do it big and I do it with all my emotion. I know this about myself. But by learning these things about myself, I've had to learn that my empathy cannot extend to everybody because there are people that abuse it and they drain me to a point that
Yeah,
I'm not.
I agree, and that's the thing that we need to think about that too as well in terms of how who you're pouring into, and then how much of that energy are you going to take in. Like there's a lot of people that will keep these groups that they're just going to commiserate all the time without having different groups that are going to try to lift them up and bring them towards their path of their personal or professional path. You can have a mixture of both. You can have a group of the support system that you're helping each other, but you also need to have that those people that are going to lift you up and help bring you to that next place in life, or else you're going to be stuck in that cycle, that vicious cycle, and just feeling like you have this black cloud hanging over you. But it's really about, you just being able to think past that point. First of all, just, recognizing, you need to wake up in the morning, first of all, and have, again, everyone hates it, really to say that, like, because it sounds cheesy, but that attitude of gratitude, it's being thankful, first of all, for that new
I do it
day,
every morning.
being
Every
able to
morning.
look in the mirror, to thank, you think that you have your eyes, you think that you're able to walk, and you're able to do all these things, because as we age, some of those things, we don't have them anymore, we deteriorate, right? So we need to be thankful each and every day for all of the parts that we have that are working and
True.
operational for our health, that we have the roof over our head, and it may not be the one that we want, but it's the one that we have, and it's going to keep us safe and our family safe. The food that we can have put in our bodies to nourish us, the vehicle that we have, it may not be the one that we want, but it's the one that we have that gets us to work, and it helps us to, to make our income, to take care of our family. Like sometimes people are just so caught into this vicious cycle again of like looking on social media to see what our neighbors have, to see what the Kardashians have, and they
Hmm.
want to keep comparing it without
Yeah.
really thinking about how thankful they really should be for all the blessings that they've had, and even the people that
Flexing.
are around them. It's like show
Flexing
up.
something all day. Like I have this, I have that. Ugh, that's so crappy. I have this new phones, new stuff like that. It's like, oh, seriously?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So yeah.
It's like for me, I think it took me a lot to be able to like understand what it meant to wake up and embrace gratitude. But I can tell you now, like actually implementing that in my daily routine for over a decade. I was all my teenage years, 12 to 15, in a wheelchair, couldn't walk. I had to learn to walk again. 2006 to 2008, I was going blind. Like in 2008, when they started the spinal taps and then went into the brain surgery in 2010, like it was to save my vision. Like it was all dark. Like we were really close to full blindness. Like and it is true. Like I wake up, I'm thankful I can see. I know how quickly it can go away.
yeah.
Like I have surgeries with an allergy to anesthesia that I know one mistake of somebody in that OR while I'm sleeping could take my life. Like I wake up every day thankful that I get to wake up and be present and be my daughter's mom and be your friend and give back to the community. Like gratitude should not be taken lightly.
No,
True.
I'm speechless. Yes,
Me
that
too.
never
Honestly.
happens.
It shouldn't. You know, I went through a fire and I lost everything, but I can be thankful I'm in an apartment even though it don't feel like home. You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of people, like, am I thankful to not be in the homeless encampment? Absolutely. But I've been in those positions and then margins to 100% know mentally what those individuals are going through. And then to see what you displayed today and the lack of humanity and the lack of just human respect it's so disheartening, and it makes you sad because it's like you have this amazing group of these core people like us that just want to fix the world, but we got to fight every battle going against the world just to leave the imprint that to be honest with you, everything I do for Don't Raise Statistics, these business plans I work on with you, Keith, these dreams I talk about, I never one time in my life have done anything for Don't Raise Statistics that I think I am going to receive any financial benefit or let alone see the success of it. But every day I get up and I commit to this process because I know what we're doing today in 50 years when we have passed away, my child and our friends' children are not going to have to face the injustices and the adversities that we just struggled to fix.
Hmm.
Yeah, true, true. And Cherry, Michael Bayan is right. We Filipinos are land of smiles. We also known for resilience. Not all, but most of all are very resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can still remember like when we encounter like floods, mostly floods here in Philippines. We
Tsunamis.
yeah yeah, some sort of like that.
Yes.
Even if like the floods is in our neck, we're still laughing. Still doing some jokes because everything will be fine
Is
and
this why
life
she
must
said
go.
you're always smiling?
Life must goes
He's
on.
always
That's
smiling
it.
too.
so,
Sherry's
so
always smiling too.
yeah.
I'm always smiling. I'm gonna be Philippine
True.
now too.
True. Yeah. So it's just that like these homeless people, what it really tears me apart. Like what makes them really goes back to this kind of very dangerous place. So there's really
And
missing, and it's like there's
that's what we're trying to build the framework around. Like
exactly.
right now they're peeling band-aids. Okay,
Yeah.
you can peel a
It's
band-aid off, but if that wound doesn't get antibiotics, or if it's a deep wound and it doesn't get stitches or sutures and
true.
like it's never going to heal appropriately.
Yeah.
And the
There's like
problem
a
that needs to be addressed are what are these deep wounds, and for myself, my thought is I like to study history. I like to study systems. I like to study, that I like factual things. And one factual thing that I've noticed through studying the history, this is even like with, the three going to 3 and 9, like with the Maya civilization, even to the 9 with the Babylon, creating it's things were done in pairs, and the systems that were formed, it's like everybody just keeps using the same system and editing it. Nobody's
yeah.
like saying, okay, for thousands of years we've seen the evolution of these systems, but we've also seen what continues. It's time to scratch it and start fresh. And one of the most
Mm-hmm.
major things, like even think of the Bible and Noah's Ark. Animals, everything was put on in
Two
pairs.
by two.
But we live
True.
in a world now that more than half of it, at least in the US, more than half of us are single parents, one income households. But you're given all the taxes, all the financial sectors are set up for pairs. So in the reality of it, a single parent pays double to take care of their child and live life than a family that has a mom and a dad with two incomes. But you don't give the single parent any tax breaks the way you do
No,
when a
they
married couple files. You don't
they
give the single parent a rent break because I choose to not live in welfare project homes because I know that environment. I choose to pay rent and give my child a home in a better place. I choose to pay that $1,000 a month.
Mhm.
I understand that. But because I'm a single mom, you're telling me that,
Because you're demure, you're mindful, you're
right?
cutesy.
Listen, if I'm that kid, let me get a sugar daddy. Jesus, come
I mean,
on.
this isn't the show for it, but we'll get you another show.
I
We
mean, we
have this.
flipped the script, so come
Yeah,
look
I
at
mean,
me. Flipping a husband. Let's go. But no, seriously, like we really like worldwide, we need to be on an individual centric financial system. Period. We do. I mean, I mean, I've done some stuff, looking at financials and stuff. And just in the United States alone, if we was to switch to an individual centric financial setup, like the government could literally reallocate $140 billion in the first year. Like, what could we do with $140 billion?
protect Keith because there was some really loud noises outside. I don't know what the hell.
I mean,
Like,
we could probably end
I mean,
homelessness
is the door locked? I
worldwide
don't
with
know.
$140 billion. Just
But
saying. I mean, we could
probably get me some.
definitely stop homelessness worldwide with $140 billion.
Probably get me a bulletproof vest also.
I mean, given it, we're trying to fix that. We don't want communities to be like that.
I know we don't.
True.
I mean, it's going to be these hard conversations. But I'm thankful
Yeah.
that at 2 in the morning, I have somebody to have these conversations with. It doesn't matter if they're happening at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. in a boardroom. This is replay. Maybe they'll watch it in the boardroom and take some pointers.
Yeah. Maybe they'll protect me. So,
I'll
we
come
could go.
protect you.
We
I'll
could go
come
outside and go
protect
see what
you.
we'll go see what's happening.
Dude, I am that idiot. I'm the one everybody's like, what was that? And I'm like, I don't know, let's go look.
I mean,
Like,
I'm I mean, I'm clearly that idiot. I mean, like I'm walking into an area where they're like, keep going. I'm like, no, we're good. I'll just walk towards you.
I'm the one trying to walk in burning buildings. Like I walk towards the chaos. Like I'm like, wait, no, my birth certificates are in there. They're like, ma'am, you can't go in. I'm like, what?
I'm
Like, no,
Yeah, I'm
I'll go
definitely
get
away
it.
from
I'll
that
be
all day.
okay. Like, yeah, no, not okay. Can't go get it. I hear the
Well,
gunshots. I'm like, oh, let's see what kind of gun that was.
no, that whole other conversations. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here with us. We appreciate it.
On
Thank you,
that note,
Michelle. Thank you. Do you want to have some final words, Homer? Do you want to have some final words?
Well, this is a very serious topic, to be honest
Yes.
with you. But uh, the
But it had a
my
positive. It had a positive resolution though. We were able to send two
yes,
carloads of
ex-
people to two
yeah,
Ubers, and we were able to help out a different party during the day to give them the gas so they can get them and
nice.
their pups out. So
kept
we
the
were.
lady with her animals. Yep, they wanted to separate them. We was able to help her keep her animals.
Yeah. Cool, cool. Because here in, if I'm going to compare I'm not really sure how the culture, the way of living that you have in U.S. compared to ours here in Philippines. But if you're talking about homeless, these people doesn't have home. Where home is very different in a house. Well, if you're in a home, there's love, there's like family, and it's very different, you know. I experienced that, you know. So when it really struck me a lot when I see people that are homeless, because I've been there. I've been there. That's the reason why when Michelle reached me out, I didn't think twice to hop on because I would like to share my truest experience. Not
I was
being
actually
like,
gonna
you know,
say, I think that this would be a good continuation into a show
yeah.
with Keith, to really
The
deep
part
dive
two,
explore, right?
deep
Not
dive.
necessarily two, but it's like I think this would be a really good topic to explore with Keith because I think that with your experience with family and the homelessness and what it is, especially with the Philippines, and then my experience with family and homelessness and
Yeah,
stuff, you had said, I think this would actually be a great way, keep kind
collaboration,
of do
partnership.
maybe exactly an interview type, show where we can, see the two cultures side by side compared
Hmm.
almost.
At
I
least
think that
we
might be
have
a good
our
collaboration.
exactly. At least we have this main goal to help genuinely, you know, without those followers, without those, you know what I mean? Because that's the trend right now, and it disgusts me a lot. You know, just leave it of this views and all that stuff. Let's help people genuinely,
Yes.
authentically. You know, and it hates
Yes.
me. It
Don't
really,
don't be don't be a connection collector. So many people are out there. They want to applaud each other and pat each other on the back for all their collections. And what are you
yeah.
actually
And like
doing for the
Keith and
people you're
I, like
connected with?
Come
Keith and
on.
I, like we really genuinely we see ourselves a worldwide global organization. And for us, it's important to learn and know and understand cultures. And
True.
maybe they just don't think the way we think. Maybe they are really like culturally facing something. And that's another thing that makes this flip in the script so great is that, access to you. I would have never met you without Dr. CJ, like
Yes.
it's exposure to the whole new culture of
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah. That's
And I'm
that's my
thankful for it.
yeah, me too, Michelle. Thank you for the trust and allowing me to, have this particular platform, and also to Sir Keith. It's an
Of
honor.
course.
And to our audience, to my
Yes.
kababayan,
Well, I don't
Shukri,
look at the audience. You'll learn that. I focus on Keith
But
and
she,
it's
she
for the
but we're gonna speak for Michelle. Michelle appreciates the audience members that you're here
I
with
do.
us.
Yes. Yes.
She
I do
just
appreciate I get anxious when I have to like scroll it or I get really anxious and it's a bad show. So we just,
we
like here,
she
hi, how
pretends.
are you? I would like to think that everybody's being called a dear, not just me, but I am well. Mm,
We're all good.
thanks.
So, Michelle, would you like to say any closing words for us today?
I'm just I'm thankful. I've been trying to put out so much grateful and thankful content lately. I'm in a not good place in life, but every day I manage to stay positive and I fall into my village and my support group and I stay focused and I know that we're working towards making everything better. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this platform and I'm thankful for not just our followers, but our friends and our village that keep showing up and they keep engaging. They keep asking questions. They're holding us accountable and I love it and I'm thankful for it. Can't hear you,
Oh,
Keith.
oh my God! Why can't you hear me? For real?
Now I hear you. Now I hear you.
What? I
I
mean,
hear
I'm
you
not
now.
using my inside voice, am I? I mean, I am tired, but I don't know if I'm that tired. Like, it's like that guy that has the video thing. He's like, "Oh, come over here, come here." No, okay. So what I wanted to tell you is that no, we are thankful for everyone being here with us today, and then supporting us from the morning into the evening as we support Camp Resolution. Um, Excuse me, I'm not getting choked up, but I am choked up. But we're happy that you're here with us today, and we're looking forward
Yeah.
to continuing the conversation and to show you with impact what we all can do and how we all can make a difference together. Hope everyone has a
Yes.
good night, good morning, and please feel free to reach out to us directly and connect with us so we could all make an impact together. Give.
Yes.
And just one more time, I really just wanted to say it one more time. This morning, when you was talking with her, it is the Sacramento Homeless Union.org.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put that in the comments.
We were talking to to Crystal Sanchez. So yeah, she was amazing, and she had so much great information to tell us, and she spoke to us for a while, and we got the interview before any of the other major media sources, so that was pretty cool. I was like very happy for us to be that one that was chosen. So that's all we have to do is show up as ourselves, and I'm sure that from there we're going to be able to shine through, and people are going to understand that we're there to help. And I just appreciate everyone, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good one, everyone.
You
Bye
too,
for
sir.
now.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye.
Thank you, Michelle.